All right, thanks, Dave. Obviously, in a game that comes down to the last possession, focus is on that, and I thought we had, a good look, got what we wanted to out of it, or got it to where we needed to, and but there's so many things in the 57 possessions that, specifically in the first half, it was kind of a tale of two halves for both teams, where both of us were scoring pretty much at will and couldn't stop each other, and on the other end, in the second half, it was the reverse of that. So the guys off the bench, Jordan Davis, Kamari Murphy, gave us good minutes. Chucky in foul trouble specifically. Cam, I thought, came in and did some good things. But again, like I said, you come down to the last possession, and we've been in a lot of these, the spotlight goes on that we don't convert. But like I said, there's things we'll find as I go through the tape that put us in that position. But typically against Rutgers, as most teams in this league, it's a lower possession, rock fight, so to speak, and that's where every possession matters, no matter if it's in the last 11 seconds or the first 11 minutes. Questions?
Jeff, Greg, you mentioned you got the ball to where you wanted it. Was it, I'm assuming, designed to go to Connor? The first.
That was one of the options. Okay. Yeah, and then make a play from there.
Okay.
So, I thought he came off the screen. They didn't really hedge it. He got into the paint. He's made that runner before. We get the rebound. Rui made a heck of a play to come from the paint out to block it on his second one on the shot from the right wing. But no, the ball got to where it needed to. Tyler screened well, and ball doesn't go in.
Todd?
Greg Gard, obviously had a rough day shooting the whole day. He's the kind of guy that shoots through it, tries to make one and get hot, right? And it just seemed like it just wasn't there for him today at any point where his confidence was low or anything you saw?
Well, anytime you're a shooter, you're going to go through great days and you're going to go through rough days. And guys I remember Kirk Penny going 0 for something or 1 for a lot. Brevin Pritzel went 0 for 11 one night. You're going to have those moments. He's been doing so well as a freshman that I think, not that you want these type of days, but over the course of time, you try not to have too many of them and trying to find other ways to impact the game. But obviously, I thought he had good looks. Chucky had good looks. I'll grade out the shot selection, but you go 2 for 13 between those two guys from 3. I'll take our chances because they're both in the mid to upper 40s percentage-wise. But credit Rutgers for defending how they needed to defend.
Jeff, at the top you mentioned the focus on the last possession, but there are some other things that led up to it. Can you walk us through the 2 possessions where Rutgers scored? Amore with the dunk and then High with the tip. If you get stops there, we're probably having a different discussion.
Yeah. I thought we got switched on the ball screen when on one of them, and we didn't. I think Chucky got switched on to him being one over the top of Chucky, which happens late in the clock. But I think our defensive miscues were much more in the first half, Jeff, with how we allowed Spencer to get going. Obviously, he's a good shooter that's been struggling, but we allowed him to get some confidence going. And obviously going 6 for 6 in the first half gave not only him confidence, but it gave them confidence. And that's what you have to battle back against. So then there were some things that we didn't execute right. He had one tough one on the right wing on a step back, but some other ones we could have done a better job of guarding him.
Todd?
Your guys, and I think maybe you were saying that Hyatt's put back may have still been in the cylinder. Did you get a better look at it?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
That's a close one to make it.
Yeah, and unless they call it, according to the rule that I read out there, unless they call it, it can't be reviewed from even in the last 2 minutes from what as long as I interpret the rule right, I'll go to my rules expert. But according to what I understand of the rule, they would have had to call goaltending in order to review it under 2 minutes, which we were in that window.
Go ahead.
Coach, Tyler Wall had 5 shots, also had 6 assists. but it seemed like when he was getting aggressive, you guys were getting great looks, be it him or another. How do you get him more involved, especially late in the game when it seemed like he didn't touch the ball as much?
Well, they doubled the post a fair amount, so we went to him on one of the actions late and raised it a lot. So they weren't going to let Steve or Tyler operate one-on-one very often. So that's part of it. He's got a lot of traffic, and then hence that's why you have so many opportunities from three, because of how the paint is jammed up. Whether they set a straight double team or if they were digging real hard and rotating, you know, there wasn't a lot of daylight in there for either one of those guys most of the day.
Ben?
Greg, what has clicked with Kamari here the last couple of games, and did you give any thought to keeping him in the game? I know you wanted to get Chucky back in. Did you, with how the offense and how he was shooting over the last couple of possessions, did you consider keeping him in the final 2 minutes?
Yeah, but I wanted to go with a guy that's been there, and I have faith in Chucky, specifically on the defensive end. You know, he's made big plays, and like I said, I wanted him, even though he got out of rhythm in those 3 fouls in the first half. And I felt was never really in rhythm, but would come down the stretch in the last few possessions. I'm going to have, you know, my main guys on the floor if I can.
Go ahead, Jeff. Greg, getting back to the Hyatt tip, did you guys also fail to put a body on him? I mean, it looked like he was able to get.
I'll have to see that. I haven't seen the replay of it yet, so I'll have a better idea once I watch that.
Todd in the back.
Connor had a rough day. Chucky was in foul trouble, had a tough time getting going. Is that, you did get a lot from your bench, obviously, but is that just one of the things where it's really thin, especially in games like this, where it's going to be a tight one? The starters, your big guys, kind of have to find a way to.
Yeah, I mean, we need everybody producing. It's great for what Jordan and Kamari did off the bench, but obviously you know, you have to be able to get production in other areas. As I mentioned with Steve and Tyler, there wasn't a lot of one-on-one operational room in the paint, and that's by design. That's typically how they play, jamming things up and then you know, contesting threes, and you got to knock those down when they're loaded that much to the ball and have that many bodies in the paint. You've got to be able to knock down some shots.
Final question for Coach. Go ahead.
Coach, going back to Tyler, it seemed like some of the drives that he had, he started kind of going downhill instead of getting the ball in the paint. Do you think that you create more action with him getting the ball up top to kind of avoid those double teams coming initially?
Well, it depends on where he gets it within the framework of the offense, you know, whether he gets there off the dribble or he comes off a cut. I mean, there's you know, there's a variety of ways that he can get the ball to the paint.
Thanks, Coach.